Hey everybody, my name is Phillip Shepard. I'm a local real estate agent located right here in Northwest Arkansas. And here we're talking about what are the winters like here in Northwest Arkansas. I've talked about the summers, I've talked about the falls, but we've never addressed the winters, so let's talk about that. But before we begin, if you could like and share this video with your friends or family, that would make the world of difference. I try to produce as much content as humanly possible about Northwest Arkansas, obviously. Northwest Arkansas is by far the best place to live in America, and you can truly live, work, and play all in NWA. So thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it. Also, if you haven't come down to Northwest Arkansas quite yet and you're looking to figure out what this area is all about, I made something called the NWA Starter Pack. It sounds exactly what it is. It's a starter pack for all amazing things in Northwest Arkansas. So enter your information below. I will literally send a package to you if you want to know about the schools, about the hospitals, all the cool things that are happening here, about every single town, about the downtown, if you want all the maps. It is called the NWA Starter Pack. If you enter your information below, I'll ship that package to you right away. It'll come right to your home. Also, it does come with your first free mountain bike, so that's pretty cool. And it is my favorite four-letter F word. Free! So enter your information below and I'll make sure to get the package shipped to you right away. All right, so the first thing we need to talk about the winters in Northwest Arkansas. So currently I am filming this video in the wintertime, so I have a little bit of experience. I've been here for 4 winters now total. Yeah, 4 winters now total. And so I have a decent amount of experience of what to expect here in Northwest Arkansas when it comes to winters here. So the first thing we need to talk about is ice and snow. So there's a little bit of difference between, like, we're in that kind of beltway of like ice in like middle America, Southern America, or like Kentucky or Tennessee. But the difference is that we don't have a lot of major ice storms. The last big one, which is a doozy back in 2009, I wasn't here for that, of course, but I know the last big ice storm was in 2009. Now, a couple times a year, we might get ice. We might get a sheet of ice on the actual roads itself. But the interesting thing about living here versus like Chicago, which is where I grew up, there is not a lot of, let's say, equipment to handle the ice because we don't get a lot of snow. We really don't get a lot of ice all the time. And so there's not worthwhile for the state or Fayetteville or Bentonville or Rogers to really maintain a fleet of vehicles for the ice. Usually the way it works is that an ice storm might come through once a year. And it's not even a storm, at least from I've been here. It's not really a storm, it just ices. It like kind of like, obviously it rains a little bit, it freezes, hence ice. Science. And then obviously the world shuts down here for about a day or less. And so it's really interesting because the world has kind of adjusted to working from home, so it's not a big shock anymore. So a lot of times people stay at home, the schools are shut down even just with the idea of like ice might be in the picture. So it happens a lot. So when it comes to ice, very minimal, kind of happens at once or twice a year, maybe. Obviously, maybe there's some years that are just major storms potentially. That happened like in 2009. I know that was a big deal, but it really hasn't had anything major since then. But snow-wise, it will probably snow once or twice a year here, maybe 3 times tops, but it oftentimes melts the next day because it's generally just warmer here in general comparison to anything in the north. So it will snow here a little bit here on and off, but it will melt the next day. Obviously, I come from Chicagoland area. If I never see snow again, I am completely fine with that. The people down here, the people that grew up here, they're all excited, or people that have been here for like 10 years, like, oh my gosh, snow. I'm like, oh, no, please keep it away. So I'll let them have their fun with their snow, but it can go away the next day. So I guess the advantage to anyone who's coming from the north, if you know this if you're from the north or anywhere there's a snowy area, if it does snow here compared to the north, it goes away. But in the north, it sticks around for all winter long. It gets dirty, it gets annoying, it's everywhere, it sticks to your tires. Ugh. So that does not exist here in Northwest Arkansas, so fun, thank God. All right, so number 2, we're talking about the temperatures. So this is my personal preference. I don't really enjoy extremely hot, consistent temperatures all the time. That's why I was never interested in like Phoenix, Arizona. Really anywhere in Texas is just way too hot down there and deserty and dry. Same thing with Florida, way too hot and really humid like all year long. And so there's a time in Florida where it's like kind of good, but it, so Northwest Arkansas hits that perfect temperature for me at least, where like at some of the most consistent temperatures you'll have when it comes to lows in the wintertime is gonna be around 30 degrees, maybe 32, maybe 28. That's like the average low. So right around freezing is where the lows are for the wintertime. Like today, for instance, a little bit of a warm spell. We're at like 65 or 70 degrees today. That's a little unheard of. Usually the lowest it'll go is between 30s to like 45, 50 during the day, sunny. So that's a real big difference there. So that's one of the things that I prefer is that the fact that it's not like you're not having super extremes. Like in Illinois, for instance, you'd have really hot summers, not like Phoenix hot, but you'd get really hot summers and really humid summers. And then you get very, very, very cold winters, -30, -20, my God. So That's the usual temperature around here in Northwest Arkansas. I would consider very good temperatures to see all 4 seasons. Whoa, before we jump on to the next point, I have something brand new called Instant Home Updates. So maybe you're thinking about coming down to Northwest Arkansas and you're quickly realizing like, oh my gosh, Realtor.com and Zillow.com, way too slow. The notifications, way too slow. So I made something called Instant Home Updates, so it sounds exactly what it is. It's Instant Home Updates. So if you want to keep up to date with all things NWA when it comes to like homes for rent or for sale, enter your information below: square footage, bedrooms, bathrooms. What are you looking for? Where do you want to live? Where are we looking at? What are the areas? If you enter your information below, I'll make sure you don't miss a single notification when it comes to looking for homes for rent or for sale, all in Northwest Arkansas. Also, every single Friday, I send an email just kind of talking about all things NWA. What musicians are coming here? What new bands are coming here? What new businesses are coming here? What new bakeries? What new pizza places? All the things when it comes to Northwest Arkansas. Every single Friday, I send an email just kind of talking about all those things NWA. Kind of keeps you up to date. So enter your information below, just your email, and I'll make sure you get that email every single Friday. But side note, you will get a little fear of missing out, a little FOMO, so to speak. But I promise you will be the most informed person eventually when you make your way down to Northwest Arkansas. And so with all those 4 seasons available, and you get kind of that like variety of temperatures when it comes to, you can do things in the wintertime, you can do things in the summertime. It really does open up the availability to do so many things outdoors almost all year long. So whether you're into biking or hiking, or if you're into running, or if you're into rock climbing, or even some of the water sports, if you get a little interesting out there, but you can definitely do things all year long here in Northwest Arkansas. Whereas if you might be coming from a state whether it gets extremely hot and unbearable, or if you get extreme colds for like 6 months out of the year, then this is gonna be a big win for you overall. Because I have a lot of people moving from obviously Minnesota, Wisconsin, Chicago, Iowa, and Dakotas, because obviously, all the different reasons why you want to move out of there. And so they're coming to Northwest Arkansas, including people from California, of course. But because of the fact winters are so mild here in comparison to where they're coming from, so you get to do things all year long here. Hit the trail systems, all the things when you come here to Northwest Arkansas, in comparison to being stuck indoors for almost half the year. And number 4 piggybacks off the third one, and that's the fact that it's really, honestly, in the wintertime, it's so much sunnier here in comparison to Chicago, comparison to Pacific Northwest, comparison to other parts of America. So much sunnier and so much warmer. And this is more my personal little, take on the winters here. But the fact is that in Chicagoland area, and this goes across a lot of parts of America, there'll be a counter in the bottom of the corner of weather reports that say how many days since we've seen the sun. So that is crazy that we'd go like 14, 15, 20 days sometimes in Illinois and Chicagoland area where you wouldn't see the sun for 20 days. That is so depressing. So depressing. Here in Northwest Arkansas, not going to be the case. We get, at least for comparison to Chicago, we get like 35 or 40 more days of consistent sun all the time here. And it's way sunnier, way warmer here in comparison to good parts of America, because it's just in that middle kind of centric area where we get 4 full seasons, we get great winters, and we get great summers. So it makes it a lot easier being in the wintertime, 30 degrees, 45 degrees, 50 degrees, and just the sun out all the time. All right, that's all I have for you guys today. Again, if you are thinking about coming down to Northwest Arkansas, download my 3-day itinerary link below. Maybe you're an adventurer, maybe you're a sports person, maybe you're a foodie, maybe you're a sightseer, maybe you have kids. There is a 3-day itinerary link down below for you. So go ahead and download it, use it when you get down here. Also, when you do come down here, I can give you the $10 tour so I can kind of show you around the whole area. Plus, we can check out some homes for sale or for rent and see how far your dollar would go in Northwest Arkansas compared to where you're coming from. All right, guys, I'll see you next one.